What's going on, everybody? Let's see, who do we got? We got Roots and Refuge in the house. We got Homestead in the... Oh, I am so going to talk about you today. Homestead in the Highlands today. Dustin Dean, Twin Cedar Farms, John.
Cheryl Whittington.
Homestead Paradise.
Twin Cedars.
Can you email me your address?
That's for Roots and Refuge. They're going back and forth about seats.
Okay.
Hey, Vina.
Vina.
They have hostages.
The Music Well. Twin Cedar.
I see we are not live from the burn unit.
It's the same.
You got to turn the volume off.
It's the same button. My big old hand don't know the difference between up and down, apparently. Sorry.
Yeah, so we had to play around with the lights a little, so it might be a little dark, but it'll be all right.
Okay, so tonight we have with us
the lovely
No.
Leslie and and her not so better half.
Trollish half.
JJL Forge. Now, if you guys have been to the Homesteaders of America conference, you've seen them before. Josh is the blacksmith.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I play with fire, folks.
No, you sound like a Disney movie over there. Ting, ting,
and
ting.
and smokes out the competition.
Hey,
Gotta put a tarp up.
Can't deal with the heat and the smoke and the byproducts thereof. Stay out of my kitchen.
It was so funny. Everybody during the conference was like,
Right?
Josh is like, my bad.
Sorry.
There you go, the Anvil chorus.
Yeah.
It is cold, Teresa Dream. Yes, the anvil chorus. Ding, ding,
Yep,
ding,
that's
ding,
exactly.
ding, 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 ding,
Yep.
ding.
Now, Josh came down this weekend because we are putting a class on here on our homestead, here on the Big Bear Homestead with
Crane.
around Memorial Day weekend. And basically what the class is it's going to be a 2-day class.
Mm-hmm.
First thing Saturday morning, when you get here, you'll be in a basic blacksmithing class. You'll be in that class up until lunchtime, and then from lunch to the end of the day, you will be with me for a intro to predator control, basic trapping type class. And then on Sunday, it will flip. You will be with me first thing in the morning because we will set out a trap line on my property. So we have to go out first thing in the morning to check the traps. And then you will finish out the day with Josh in the blacksmithing class.
And we're probably going to be looking at making a squirrel cooker.
Nice. A squirrel cooker. Hey, city girl.
What I don't even want to know what that is.
Think rotisserie, but for a squirrel-sized piece of meat.
So it's like a pencil.
That diameter, with a fork on the end that comes back to a squirrely cue thing that you stick in the ground and pass this thing through, and it lets you rotisserie.
There you go. Squirrel cooker, a cast iron skillet. Amen.
High carbon steel's better for you, though.
This is true.
I don't know.
It doesn't absorb.
Yeah, but everybody needs a
Barbecue
little
spit.
iron.
Well, this is true. This is very true. Yes.
Now, Josh will also be teaching again this year for a hands-on class at the Homesteaders of America conference. What are they making this year in your class?
I think we set it up to make spoons, like a combo barbecue tool. It's a spoon or a ladle on one end and a 2-pronged fork on the other end.
You got something with 2 prongs, don't you?
Yeah. I don't have my horns yet. I got horn envy.
And it's safe for me to announce I will also be having a class again this year at the Homesteaders of America. We will be doing a predator control class again there. Mm-hmm. We are currently working with a production company to get a DVD that you will be able to take home with you from my class.
Peaceful Inspiration says, LOL, with your accents, I thought you were saying scroll cooker.
Sorry.
Squirrel cooker.
I'm a bit of a traveler, so I pick up hits here and there, and I've kind of got my own language. So
Now, if you guys can't make the Homesteaders of America conference, before our class here, you do have the shindig in April out there with Roots and Refuge and VW Family Farm. Now, both Roots and Refuge and VW Family Farm put out a video about the change in venue. It was going to be hosted by VW Family Farm at their homestead, but they are getting hammered with weather and everything also. Mm-hmm. And so they are now farming mud just like the rest of us. And
I don't know, with the day we had today, we might get dehydrated here pretty quick.
I don't know.
Wow, have you seen over 900 tickets are gone?
Nice. Wow. And so it's being moved to, from my understanding, it's like a fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. But don't take my word for it. Go over to VW Family Farm. She has it labeled as a shindig announcement, and it's got important going across the thing. And Roots and Refuge also have the same, basically, an announcement on theirs about it. Now, I will be doing demos there also. Mm-hmm. So if you're unable to make HOA, you can catch us there. If you can't catch us in Arkansas, then you can try to come here to our homestead in May for our class. But if you can't make that one, then you can catch me again in Missouri at the Homesteading Life Conference with Off Grid and Doug and Stacy. I will be doing a workshop there. And if you can't meet that one, then the last one you got is the Homesteaders of America.
Which you'll both be at.
Which we'll both be at.
Very cool.
Yeah. So to be able to see Josh and I at the same time, you've got Homesteaders of America or our class here in May.
All right. Lone Star said, "Oh, I'll be at HOA this year. I don't care if I have to quit my job." LOL. Not really, but almost serious.
So tonight we're going to open it up for questions, for blacksmithing questions, trapping questions. You know, you guys get to know Josh and his lovely bride better tonight. Also, I don't know where my mods are.
Yeah, we have none. Well, City Girl, but she's getting ready to leave.
If we could throw up his... Oh, throw up's a bad word. If we could...
Oh, hey, D. There's Vina. Yeah. How do you trap a kid that won't sleep in his own bed?
Duct tape.
You want the legal answer or my version?
Or the DCFS answer.
Yeah.
We have 7 children, so that's a very good question. That's
hard. I mean, Benadryl's not necessarily a good one either because we have kids. Nice Velcro sheets and PJs, flannel PJs.
Well, so the thing is, for us, I think we get them up super, super early in the morning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And run them all day.
Run them hard. Run them hard all day, hauling wood, splitting wood, helping Dad cut the back 40 grass of our 2 acres with big old chef knife instead of lawnmower. Yeah, that helps a lot. That works too, Roots and Refuge. That works too, but I think my stuff would work better.
The fact that he spelled it SIPI cracks me up. No, but all joking aside, I think that's one thing that and then the other thing is making sure that you don't have situations like we had today where we were in the car for a total of almost 2 hours, and the kids had gotten up early and had been running all morning, but they had the opportunity to take a nap in the car. So try to stay away from those kind of things too.
Yeah,
because
you guys had the twins today, so
Yeah.
you had 2 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Now those two are used to taking a nap anyways midday, so
Yeah, but
they
took
took one
there.
there
And
and
on the way
back.
back, yeah.
And it's the one on the way back that'll get us tonight.
Man, we're in trouble.
So Peaceful Inspirations asks, how can we keep wasps from nesting in our windows? There's nothing that you can really put out that's going to deter them. What you have to do is just keep an eye out, and the moment you start to see them making that nest, you knock it down. And after a couple of times, they'll
it's
move.
a path of least resistance. They'll move somewhere else.
Because I gotta tell everybody in all my classes, and this goes for insects, this goes for humans, this goes for foxes, coyotes, raccoons, possums, snakes, mice, rats. It doesn't matter. Everything follows its food source, and everything takes the path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Josh, you have Twitter.
I do not have Twitter. That is one I do not do. I do Instagram, Facebook. I've got something started on Patreon and YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yeah, and I think
Or the Etsy.
well, the Etsy doesn't count because it's not set up proper. So
Pure Hearts Homestead asks, anyone tried the solar motion detector that uses sound and light to deter deer? That should deter deer, and not only should it deter deer, but it will also deter some of your other predators at first. One of the things, again, everything follows its food source, so there is a reason why some of those predators are coming. Now, obviously, the deer are probably coming to your garden.
Right.
Because that's yummies
Following their food source.
that they don't get all year round.
Hey, sub.
So, one of the best deterrents to keep deer out of your garden, okay, now listen to me now. Listen to me. Is put electric fencing, 1 strand, 2 strands, doesn't matter, around your garden. Set it to its highest setting. Take aluminum foil. Smear peanut butter on the aluminum foil. Then place it half it over the electric wire. Now, everybody knows the moment it licks that peanut butter, it's going to get a shock of a lifetime.
On it.
Now, this is not considered cruel. This is not considered inhumane. This is actually recommended by most of your Department of Natural Resources as an effective deterrent. And it's also a great form of entertainment.
Almost as much fun as it would be for Sub with that Works toilet bowl cleaner bomb for her coyotes.
So that, and it works because deer are smart. Okay? They're going to remember that you put a garden out every year. But the moment you zap 1 or 2 of them, and that's why I said put it on the highest setting,
Yeah.
they're going to tell all the other deer, you know what? They got good stuff over there, but we can't get to it.
It ain't worth
It
it.
is, it's not worth it. It hurts.
Make sure the fence is off when you place the foil over it, or you'll get the shock of a lifetime. Amen to that one.
Now that part is
What about depredation tags?
what about them?
Is that for being able to shoot them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have. I mean,
Well, look here in my state. I don't know what state you're in, but here in my state, they don't hand them out as freely as I think they should. Because especially in my area, we are very overpopulated with wild hogs and deer. In AR, Kansas. I would obviously call your Department of Natural Resources, but here in my state, I have to prove that I have done everything that I can before they give me that permit, or I got to be able to prove a tremendous amount of financial loss. Mm-hmm. So the big ag, they make it rain with those permits for those guys.
Mm-hmm. Not for us little people,
but
though.
For us little folks, no, you got to put up like an 8-foot fence. Then you got to run the electric fence, and then you got to try this, and then you got to try that, and you got to jump through like 800 hoops here. Now, I'm a firm believer in the 3S method too. Okay, so.
Did you read what Homestead in the Highlands said?
No, what'd she say?
I once watched a few police officers get zapped by my electric fence. I tried to tell them I'll turn it off, but the guy butted in and told me to let them do their job, so I let them.
Yeah.
I bet that was amazing.
She is awesome.
Shoot, skin, skillet.
Close.
I like to use the 3S method with people with certain animals that there's no way you're going to get a shooting permit for, and you're really not going to get any help from the powers that be, and that is shoot, shovel, shush. So,
oh, sub, I'm sorry.
So.
We have tags for deer management here in Virginia. A lot of local farmers have them.
Yeah, when we did some research on it for ours, it seemed like you had to have a certain amount of acreage.
Right, you have to be a bigger...
You know, all I can say is I actively defend my chickens' free-range corn.
There you go. So what is the hardest...
Mama Grove said I got yelled at on Facebook for suggesting the 3S's.
Yell up, but yell back at them.
I mean...
And you were saying getting help with nuisance critters. Take coons for an example, right? We had one trapped, thought it was rabid. The guy came out to look because of the threat of it being rabid and said, he's not, and it's illegal to relocate him.
Yeah, you gotta shoot him.
Well, he said, all you can do is let him go.
No. One, I would have, and see, in this, look, and listen, people, okay? You cannot look at an animal and tell whether or not he's got rabies or he doesn't got rabies. There is like 1,000 different strands of the rabies virus. And out of all of those thousands of strands, there's only one that is now, because of Stephen King, has now been called the Mad Dog Cujo strand. That's where you get the foaming of the mouth. That's when you get aggressive. The other 999 of them, the animals, for the majority of it, they go docile. They want to get away from everybody. They want to curl up in a dark, cool place and lay there and die.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't rabies attack the brain
Yes.
and the central nervous system?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, most of the time, that kind of thing, you don't want to get aggressive. You just want to get away and...
And there's only one way to test for it.
Test the brain.
You gotta decapitate the animal, and they've gotta pull brain tissue.
Yep. So I think it's funny that they told you that he didn't have rabies, because you can't honestly know for certain.
And that was the one that was dancing sideways during the middle of the day through Mom and Dad's yard that we caught in a live trap, and ultimately I wound up dispatching it. So
yeah.
Could you please tell that to our local animal control rabies officer? he told me to prove it. I asked him if I should bring him the head. I mean, and Mama T said Maryland is just as bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardest thing you've ever had to make, Josh, and I bet I know what he's gonna say.
Hardest or biggest or what? Specify.
Hardest.
The hardest
Or
to make.
let's rephrase. Most challenging.
Okay.
Huh?
The stupid hinges.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, it's really, really a toss-up because I went through 5 different versions of your brand.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Getting it to get an even surface that it'd burn.
Biscuit cutter.
The biscuit cutter's up there too because, and like you pointed out, Dee, that was mostly me overthinking it and not accepting anything less than perfection.
Right.
Yeah.
And then finally saying, you know what? What's the purpose of this thing? To cut dough, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know,
it's just dough.
it's dough. It can be
not trying
wonky.
to cut a finger.
I mean, it's beautiful in its wonkiness, and I'm happy with the end product. But I probably could have gone another 3 versions on that. Just saying, Dee.
How did you start blacksmithing?
So I got started blacksmithing. My father gave me a fantasy novel. I think it's called the Dark Sword Trilogy. I can't remember now which one it was, but the first book in the series, it's a 3-book series, and the main character is a demigod. He's cast down to earth, and he's got to defend himself. It's Iron Age, Bronze Age type stuff. So what's he do? He takes a meteor, powderizes it in his hands, takes it to a volcano, and forges a sword, a Damascus blade sword, out of this powdered meteorite.
Nice.
I looked at my dad and I said, that is absolute BS.
There's no way. It's a fantasy novel.
He could use a volcano to do that. He died. Dad said, well, first off, he's a demigod. So, second off, yeah, there have been people throughout history who've used a volcano as a heat source. I said, okay, well, he said, and I'll bet you that whole stack of wood out there gets split by you if you're wrong. I said, I'll take that because that's just stupid.
You split a lot
I
of
went
wood,
to the
then.
library and come back really unhappy. You can do it. It will likely kill you, but
it's possible.
it is possible. Nowadays we have the PPE to do it. The IR radiation stuff. You can... they take samples out of the volcano all the time. Mm-hmm. If you're wearing that stuff, you can get close enough. And I see there's like a blue million stuff, but I can't keep up.
No, Dee said it was wonky, but it's productive.
There you go.
Well, that's good then.
Absolutely like Lord of the Rings, yes.
She said, so you have to take it to the pits of hell to melt it.
Yeah, well, a blacksmith's fire... literally is about this big, and in that fire, given the right circumstances, you can get up to a 4,000 degree fire.
Wow.
Steel melts at 3,300. It vaporizes.
Wow.
So, just saying, we can cast some stuff if you want, man. You got a crucible.
So, what's the hardest metal to work with?
So nowadays we've got a lot of modern stuff that they didn't have back in the day. The hardest thing I personally have worked with is H13. Second to that would be High Tough steel, which is the name brand of the steel that they make the NASCAR axles out of. That stuff has got attitude for days. It laughs at you. It laughs at
ting,
you.
And it's like,
I mean, you guys come out to the Homestead Conference and watch me, or when we do our thing in May, I'll demo a little bit and educate as we go through it, and for sure watch my videos. It's hard to see from the video, though, exactly how fast stuff moves. But you hit High Tough,
And
unless
it hits you back.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it really does. It sends a shock back up through your elbow into your arm and will destroy your rotator cuff.
Wow.
So it's not fun stuff to work. H13 is very similar. It has to be worked at a very high heat, and so you're talking about 2,700 degrees minimum coldness to be able to work it at. Otherwise, it starts developing fractures and cracks and stuff.
I gotcha.
Too much higher than that, if you actually hit, say, 3,000, so it's window of moving,
very
it's
small.
very small. If you hit 3,000 and it starts sparking, it burns out all the carbon, and you wind up with Swiss cheese and shrapnel.
Yikes.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, it's a blast, man.
April Hill said, so tough. You hit it with the hammer and it grabs the hammer and hits you back.
Pretty much. Pure Hearts, I do. It is under JJL Forge.
One of our mods will put the link up in just a second. So Breakaway said, did you guys decide when we're going to do that?
Yeah.
I'll come if it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, that we just said that Memorial Day weekend. That's what we said. Because of you.
Is that okay for y'all?
How do you get the fire hot enough? Okay. And how do you know if it's hot enough?
So I've got 22 years of playing with fire under my belt.
Okay, hold on.
I just got here.
I want to clarify that with the FBI agent. He's not an arsonist. He is a blacksmith.
He legit is a blacksmith.
He is talking about doing blacksmithing.
Arson's just my hobby.
Ditto.
But
he's just joking.
Okay, so the heat actually has to do with the blend of coal that I use is an 80-20 blend. You can get that 4,000 degree fire out of anthracite, which across the pond they love. The Smiths over there, that's about all they can get. Anthracite. So that's what's also, dumbed down version. That's the hard coal. Mm-hmm. Okay. Soft coal, bituminous or bituminous coal is how folks say it a lot too.
What's that stuff I gave you?
That's the soft coal. That's the bituminous.
Okay.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff?
So I like that in particular because it does a process called coking up. And I'm not referring to crack or drinking Coke. It is what the legitimate thing is. But anthracite does burn hotter, Teresa.
That's a blacksmithing term. It's not talking about illegal drugs.
All the impurities in the mineral coal burn out, and it starts sticking together. So you can build
a camp. Amy?
Hey, Amy.
We was just talking about you.
We weren't.
It burns hotter. Yeah. Short and simple. Yes, Teresa. But you get that really hot fire by a concentrated air blast forced up into the coal. You can do it with hardwood charcoal. Hardwood charcoal fuel source takes twice as much volume of fuel as coal does to get the same fire.
Now, let me ask you something.
Yeah, it's all good, Amy.
and I probably shouldn't do this on camera, but I'm going to do it anyway.
You're just going to wing it.
I'm just...
That's nice.
That was nice.
Now let's see if she caught it. That's all right, kitty.
I noticed
TJ, what's up?
At the HOA last year, for you, your air source was a blow dryer.
Yeah.
How did that blow dryer not melt? Because you were literally sticking it...
Pretty much right in the fire, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the way that forge is set up, it's basically you've got the pot, and off the bottom of it, you've got a T-fitting, okay?
Okay.
That T-fitting has a cap across the bottom, and you insert just the tip of that hairdryer into that T, just enough to get it to lash on. And yes, I used a lot of duct tape. I did melt through the duct tape, and it bubbled some of the plastic on that hairdryer.
Yeah.
Now, is that what you were working on with the forge that We got you.
Yeah, I was fixing the blower. The one that we have up there, it's got a drive wheel that's powered by. It's basically the transition from bellows to the hand crank one that I'll be using at the HOA.
Okay.
In between that, there's a lever action.
Yeah, that's the one that...
And that's the one you've got up there. And before we leave, we'll probably take some video of it in action since I think I got it working.
I think it's pretty amazing. Like, I mean, it was given to us by a guy that was just like, I don't know what to do with it.
I think he found it. I think he was doing... and I can't remember. It's been so long ago that it's literally just been sitting in our shop. I think he was just going out and cleaning out old places, and he found it, and he was like, I was going to try to play with it, but he got into reloading.
Right. And
so he's like, you want to try your hand at blacksmithing? I was like, yeah, I thought about it. He's like, here, take this. And he gave me those 2 books that I'm going to give you, and then that chunk of railroad tie, or whatever it's called, rail, and then that bucket of coal.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Do you use a hand crank blower or an electric blower?
Okay, so in addition to the solid fuel source, I also have a gas forge that I use primarily. That one I primarily use for heat treating on blades and like struck tools, say punches, or chisels. Or if I'm doing a production run. If I've got like 30 of one item that I'm making, I can throw that steel into the gas forge, and it doesn't have enough oxygen in there in the fire in order to burn up the steel, which is cool because I can
let it
just,
sit and drum on
production run it, So there's that. What was the actual question?
Electric blower or
electric
hand crank?
Blower. Okay. The electric blower, in my opinion, is great if you're doing a forge weld, but it sucks for fuel consumption. Because unless you're really, really diligent about shutting it off when you turn around to start hitting on your metal, it's constantly burning up that fuel.
Yeah.
I personally primarily use a Champion 400 hand crank blower.
Okay, what's the best way to build a homemade forge?
Go on to www.anvilfire.com. There is a drop-down bar in there that has got several getting started articles. One of those is a brake drum forge.
I think I've seen that.
Hands down, the simplest version of a out-of-the-ground forge that you could move around your homestead or whatever you've got to do. Now, that said, my very first forge was literally, it's called an African ground forge. And it's literally a hole in the ground. It has 2 ditches that you dug, and you take the dirt and you build a tunnel over it, leading back to another hole. Over top of that secondary hole, it's a piece of inner tube stretched nice and tight, and you step on it, and it pushes the air back and forth. And let me tell you, it sucks worse than it blows. It works so.
I bet that'll get a fire hot, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Short of that, you can hook up a...
on the ground. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so,
this is the one we love to hear. JJL Forge.
No, wait. Before you get it, let's answer this one, and then I want you to explain what a forged weld is, because for people that don't know that.
What is your opinion of the show Forged in Fire? I'm just gonna grab my chips and watch the comments. I'm just saying.
It's phenomenal entertainment. Short answer. Entertainment is my operative word, though. It does not show the entire process. One of the other things is it doesn't usually show the tight-knit community of blacksmithing. Every episode, they have to cut out how much each blacksmith goes and helps the other guys. And the whole time, they're saying, hey, it's a competition.
You're
Stop
not supposed
helping
to be helping
each other.
Yeah.
But in reality, the guild system that is here in America and other parts of the world, it's set up to teach and educate. You know, that's what we train ourselves to do, is to reach out to folks and give them knowledge. That's how our craft actually is going to continue to live.
With anything.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we're constantly cutting each other's throat, how do we expect to continue?
So you might be I guess you may get a trip out to Arkansas because Man Bun was in here and saying he wanted to get into
yeah,
it.
he wants to.
I mean, that would be
Well, he
awesome.
said he's going to HOA, so.
Yeah. So he's
So
probably
what-
going to be in your hip pocket.
So what you're saying is you'd never be on that show.
I have turned it down 3 times.
Yep.
Third time, 3 strikes, you're out. I'll never be asked again, I don't think.
Which Man Bun? Jeremiah.
He knows who he is.
No, but April asked.
And to be honest, before my reasons were more monetary, I had a day job that I couldn't take 2 weeks to make a film,
Right.
a TV show off for the possibility to
Actually do it.
get
Right.
$10,000. You know, 10 grand is nothing in my world for as far as tools and shop
No.
fees and everything
Yeah.
else. I mean, it doesn't touch it, you know.
Windmill Farm, hey, from North Mississippi.
Cool.
Hello, hello. So Breakaway said, yeah, just like a beekeeping group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
Yeah, and in the beekeeping groups, they teach you to stay calm
And scrape away.
and scrape away and walk away from the situation.
I'm upset that Homestead in the Highlands wasn't here. She didn't get our joke. She wasn't.
She's here.
No, she's not. She hasn't commented since we.
Yeah, she was earlier though.
She was in here earlier.
But it's late where she is, so.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
So there.
Oh,
see?
there she is. Unless she didn't catch our joke.
She didn't catch it. She didn't catch it.
That's all right. I get stuck. Jason makes fun of me. You know, community.
What does a big brother do?
Look, Pat. We only do that because we love you. Just saying.
So
I mean, that's what I always tell my kids. If I don't pick on you, then you can't possibly know. I mean,
So
and Marines are the same way. That's why me and Maya go back and forth.
right.
You know, because Marines are the same way.
So I grew up. My last name's French German. Okay, Langford. You know. So basically, if you talked at the dinner table, you didn't eat, and if you didn't move your hands quick enough, they were stabbed. You know, so that's kind of, you know, where I'm coming from. And then mom's side's Scotch, English, you know, and Irish in there too. So we hate ourselves. So why should anybody else get special treatment?
I have actually been in.
so okay, so what you're saying is she heard me say wing it, but she didn't catch the reference. I don't think.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're gonna real quick. Homestead in the Highlands made a video. We've been talking back and
back up. We asked them to do a collaboration with us where she is going to make authentic
Scottish
food. And so she made the first video
and put it out today. Yeah.
and put it out today.
Yeah.
And oh
British, I'm sorry.
my
British
word.
Big difference.
Are you Scottish, British, whatever? British food.
Big,
I'm
big
sorry.
difference.
I'm sorry.
We have a Scot.
Faux pas. Sorry. I'm sorry.
We have a Scot up there at one of the antique stores, and somebody went in to go look for something and said, "I love your accent. Is it Irish?" She said, "Well, thank God you didn't say English."
The Irish will fight you, then cry about it later.
If they're not stupefied by drink.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You can only imagine. So.
And so, if one of my mods could go to the Homestead in the Highlands channel and pick the video, what did you title it?
Something about
Cooking
for
for Big Bear Homestead.
Yeah, cooking for Big Bear Homestead or something like that.
it's
Go and watch that video.
don't eat anything.
Right.
You will enjoy it.
Yeah, UK to US or something like that.
You will thoroughly enjoy her commentary.
She's awesome.
You will thoroughly enjoy some of the stories that she shares.
I was waiting for her to break out in songs. Just like,
I know, that was disappointing.
You a song right
Maybe
now.
I should sing you a song.
But I'm not.
But I'm not going to.
My one question is, how often does that horse tranquilizer get
in the kitchen?
In the kitchen get used?
And then be watching for us to make the chips.
Yep. Not these kind of chips.
No.
Not the ones in the package.
So I want to see.
You got a dart in your neck.
What?
I don't know.
I want to know what that brown sauce was. Was that kind of like
HP? What did she say? HP?
Yeah, HP sauce.
Mm-hmm.
HP sauce? Yeah.
Oh, so I looked up okay, so with everything. Utility kilt. She's getting you.
I thought I sent that to her.
I don't know. So HP. She was talking about that in the video, and you really do need to watch it. It's really, I love it. House of Parliament sauce. So it's similar to A1, but it's a little bit different. So I was looking it up to see if I could find like a recipe. But all the recipes I found were like for canning it. For, like you had to make a big batch of it. So I'm not sure like if I want to do that or not. But I mean, everything that it asks for, we have. So I was like, no, you didn't. Uh-oh.
Sorry,
Jason's in the doghouse.
You don't want to be in the doghouse with D either.
I guess I was too busy opening up packages and sending my wife pictures of stuff that she was receiving in the mail.
He said it is actually Houses of Parliament sauce. Truly it's where it started. Anchovies are the key ingredient of HP. Cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was looking at different copycat recipes for it, and so I thought, well, maybe we could try that.
Well,
we'll see.
soy sauce has anchovy in it too, so.
So,
yeah.
I like anchovies. I don't mind anchovies.
Her video is definitely worth the view. Then come and watch us try to make it.
Wait, there's just a bacon sandwich?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here you go. The other night, I fixed filet mignon, bacon wrapped filet mignon.
About that at lunch, yeah.
Okay. Well, you describe it then.
It was amazing, is what she said.
I told him, I said I didn't know if I was just really hungry, or because it was really late by the time we ate, or if his
cooking was just that great.
Or if it was, the kind of the meat and everything like that. But that was really
So,
good.
I studied cooking for 7 years under 8 different master chefs, so it might have something to do with it, but
I get the Dale steak seasoning sauce, Robyn. I'm marinating the meat tonight.
Who's going out the front door?
They probably are doing something with the thing. So yeah, the Dale's steak seasoning, if you take that, so she's going to try and make her own jerky. And so she was asking for a jerky recipe, like a marinade. And I said, look, for your very first batch,
see what
don't
Amy's
even
gonna get you to.
What now?
I mean, Amy, if you buy the stuff, I am more than happy to do that. I'll even bring the gas forge and do it in like 3 seconds. Right, Tangy?
Yes, we did that with the meats.
But yeah, the Dale's, so what I told her is, because Teresa had a great recipe, but the problem with that is that, you have to add a bunch of stuff, where with Dale's, all you do is just put the Dale's in there, put the meat in there, let it soak for a day or so, and then, let it, what? What do you see?
Give it to me rare so I can
slap
slap
a
a
Band-Aid
Band-Aid
on
on
it.
it and ride it home. That's kind of after my heart, but, it's more, you knock the horns off, show it the oven so that it can shrivel up and fear
Yeah.
and terror, and then bring it to me.
That's what I used to always tell them. They'd be like, "How would you like your steak?" I'm like, "Medium rare, closer to the rare side." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Just slap the horns off of it, singe it on the grill, and bring it to me." Like, I mean, that's all I need. It's okay if it's still bleeding.
I just tell them, just let it walk by the fire.
Yeah. Well, I say that with my martinis. I love a good vodka martini, but everybody knows martinis usually have vermouth in them.
Yeah.
And so I don't like vermouth, so I tell them, like, I want a vodka martini where you just go up to the cup and you go, vermouth. That's it. That's all I want.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah.
Really?
So Dee asked if we've tried the seasoning. No, I am waiting to get some of our ribs out of the fridge. We haven't done any jerky yet, so, but I do plan on using that seasoning when we start doing our jerky. Asher likes a steak to have been walked through the kitchen as that's as cooked as he likes.
As long as the butt's been wiped off and there's no skin on it, I'm okay.
I mean, really, the longer you cook, I mean, if you have a really good quality cut steak, I mean, the more you cook it, the more you ruin it.
Right.
You know? Where is the seasoning that he sent? Where is his box?
You took it in the house.
Oh, wait, it is in there. Yeah, we do. Actually, yours I was going to try on the ribs. I'm sorry, I'm getting that confused. TJ's I was going to try on the ribs. Dee's I was going to try on jerky. And then she also told me I could use it on steak or just about anything. So
back to blacksmithing. What is a forged weld?
A forge weld. Okay. If you think of a forge weld more like a fusion weld on an atomic level, okay? Mm-hmm. Basically, what you're doing, though, is you're getting the two pieces very, very hot. You want them within 12 degrees of each other. So it does take a little bit of skill to gauge that. But pretty much, so long as the surface of the metal is clean and not oxidized, so we use a little bit of borax and sprinkle pixie dust on it, it creates a primitive glass layer on top of it. Mm-hmm. Then you can put those two pieces, touch in the fire, get them lined up and touch them in the fire, and they will actually stick just like a tack weld with a machine weld at that point. Mm-hmm. Okay, you bring it out, put it on the anvil, drive that in just a little further, real quick. You've got about a second to do that movement from the fire to the anvil and hammer it. And then back into the fire, and then bring it back up to heat, white hot, and then you bring it back over to the anvil and drive that further in. And you do that pass about 3 to 5 times, and then you're good. It's all one solid piece. And really what it is it's making atomically, or on the atom level.
Atomic level, right?
On the atomic level, it is making those two separate pieces into one piece. It's one of the reasons why blacksmiths back in the day were one of the very few people outside of, that weren't sanctioned by the church to perform marriages. In medieval times, because we had the magic power to unite two pieces of metal, we also could translate that to human relationships.
That's hilarious.
Wow. So, is that what the old Japanese samurai sword makers were doing when they were folding the metal? Is basically forge welding it over and over?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what they do is it's real, depending on what state they're getting their raw material in. They had the technology to take a carbon steel, such as like a cast steel at that point, which is a byproduct actually of making wrought iron. They take that high carbon content cast and put it in, mix it up and put it in with lower carbon content like wrought iron, and that folding it over and over and over, that layering process makes it more of a homogeneous, very similar to one of our more modern hybrid steels. So nowadays it's just for show or to brag, hey, I got 2,000 layers in this, you know.
Right.
And that's why in Greta
Green in Scotland, you can be married by a blacksmith and a forge.
You are 100% correct.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
That would be cool.
I thought anvils were for blowing up at Christmas.
Only in the South.
That would be cool.
Damascus steel. Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty much.
What it, yeah.
You want to renew our vows in a forge, honey?
Now, I don't have to have any certification to renew vows because you're still married.
Right. I mean, it's just an act at that point. But...
Yeah, it's a ceremony, and I'm more than happy to help you with that.
That would be cool.
Speaking of celebrations, does anybody know what tomorrow is?
Sunday. Just
Does
another day.
anybody know what tomorrow is? There it is. Birthday time. Somebody's getting old. Jason's birthday. I think a bear gets old. Yeah, 55.
If there wasn't the new stipulations coming around with a new algorithm, I would time you out right now.
No, he's gonna be.
Jeez.
That is cool.
Yeah, your birthday's on our anniversary.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Who said that?
Amy.
Very cool.
I knew I shared my birthday
Hey, I wear aprons.
with one of the girls that I went to high school with, except for she was a year younger than me.
Uh-huh.
And in high school, she was smoking. Now, not so much.
We saw her in town, and he was like,
Woo, you aged like
aged
milk.
like milk, not like wine.
Just saying.
There's a few that I was
That
involved
happens.
with in high school that I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And now
Well,
it's...
you men have the ability to age like wine. Women, it's a little bit harder to do that.
But now it's cool that I get... I will never forget Amy's anniversary now.
Mm-hmm. And then Homestead in the Highlands, her birthday is coming up on Thursday. She is going to be 29 again.
4. Oh.
Hush. Hush your mouth. Shut your face. Suburban says I'm aging like moldy bread.
Hey, at least we get penicillin, right? But I'm allergic to it, so.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to be what, 44?
43.
43.
Yeah.
Are you
No,
sure?
40.
I'm going to be 44.
Oh, you're almost 45. Oh my gosh, you dirty old man. He's going to be 44 this year. That's awesome.
Why is that funny to you?
Because you're going to be 45 next year. That means you're almost 50. You're like getting there, man. I just barely kicked into the 40s. It's like, I just barely kicked that door
You
in.
are 42.
Not yet. I'm 41. I'll be 42 in July.
The door being
I
kicked.
just turned 38, so.
I just
That
kicked
door
the
being kicked wide open.
Whatever.
I'm the baby in this group here because her birthday's in June and she will be older than
I
me.
will be, yep.
Oh, okay.
I got 7 months on him.
Larry will be 48. I'm telling you though, 40s are the new 20s. I'm just saying. I mean, really. Like, I think I'm having more fun in my 40s than I had most of my 20s.
I will tell you, 35 was horrible.
25 was my rough one. Because at 25, I was a quarter of a century old and I hadn't done jack. And I was like, dude, I'm a quarter of a century old and I have not done anything worth talking about.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as, you know, our relationship goes, 35 was me getting that wake-up call from God saying, hey, dummy, you need to quit your job and spend a year minimum with your family.
Right.
Yep.
I have not had a hard age yet. I had a disappointing one, which was my 21st birthday. Because I was standing post on my 21st birthday in a country where that it was legal to drink
at 18.
At 18.
Yeah, he's like, what the crap?
And it's like I've always set goals for myself. To by this age, I want to say that I've been able to do this. By this age, I've been able to want to, and I've always reached those goals.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to own my own home by the time I was 40. Did that. You know, I wanted to. I wanted to marry the love of my life. That one took me a little bit longer to find.
It took him a while.
But 14 years later,
he was celebrating his 30th birthday. That's the really cool thing. Amy's talking about her anniversary. It's kind of an anniversary for us too, because we met on the 5th of March. So he had his birthday.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna go there, man.
Anyway, so his birthday, you know, and then 2 days later is when we met. Yeah. So.
But I was watching one of the ads on, I can't remember if it was a Roots and Refuge video or the Homestead in the Highlands video, but it was showing a club scene. And I go, I don't miss that at all.
I mean, I had fun then, but it was a certain season. Like, that was the season. And then it was, and I think I kind of wore it out early because in our town, you could go to a club at like 13, just couldn't drink. Like, they had like teen clubs.
They had teen nights, yeah.
You know, so.
Which, again, I'm still trying to figure out how we never met.
So we, you know, I went to teen clubs until I went off to college. And then while I was in college, I mean, I went to, once I was old enough, went, you know, so it wasn't really, you know.
No.
Yeah, 21 is the peak season. After that, it's just is what it is.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that.
No. My 20s, look, in most of my 20s, matter of fact, yeah, all of my 20s, I spent in the Marine Corps. And for the majority of my time in the Marine Corps, I was in a combat situation. So my 20s weren't the average person's 20s.
Right.
You know? Now, look, I got to scuba dive all around Japan and Okinawa. I got to scuba dive the Great Barrier Reef. I got to scuba dive in Jamaica. I got to paintball fight with the Prince of Thailand and all of his security, because they were, and that was a pretty good time. I got to be a diplomat in my 20s. Because working as an embassy marine, you get diplomatic status. You know, and you impress a lot of hot young ladies at the airport when they come up to you and say, "We are Mr. Rear. We are letting the diplomats on right now."
Right.
See you on the plane, sweetheart.
Right.
You know.
Well, I'm not saying that
Look,
it's not.
He acts like the uniform itself didn't already set that up. I mean, come on. Have you seen a Marine's uniform?
Yeah, but I wasn't, and doing embassy duty, I had to fly in a suit and tie.
Oh, okay. Who is texting you?
I'm not saying that 21's not one of those.
Oh, no!
Yes!
No! Blaze just texted us.
Uh-oh.
He said just tased someone.
Oh.
Did he get it on film?
No, of course not.
Well, he said
come
it was
on.
a dry
kind
stun.
of dry stun.
But you know, and I got to see a lot of the world.
Right.
And so, from a party aspect, my 20s weren't that great. But you know what?
Please.
Just like what Robyn said, we grew up in the same town. Still to this day, we are trying to figure out. God kept us apart.
That was
for a
crazy.
reason.
I mean, it really is crazy, y'all. Just to think about how close we probably came. I mean, there were probably times we were eating at the same McDonald's, or I went through the drive-thru at the McDonald's he worked at.
Sure.
Like, I'm telling you, there were probably times I probably did meet him.
Sure.
We probably met in passing, but just don't remember our paths crossing.
Oh, I would have remembered.
Because I played basketball in the gym, which was right down from the football field when he was practicing. So during the summer, when they were practicing late summer and we were having ball camp and different tournaments, we should have, and never did.
So
It's
like,
weird.
I gotta say, I mean, all my wild oats were sown, so to speak, prior to my 20s. Because I turned 20 and met her.
Yep.
And a week after meeting her, that was it. I'm done. I proposed. 7 months
7 months later.
total later.
Yeah.
You know, we're hitched. We waited 3 years to have kids. But it's been 17 and a half years now.
Yeah.
And we have 7 kids. And I gotta say, man, my 20s weren't all that. I was a dork. I was still learning myself. And trying to learn her while learning myself.
Yeah.
So my 20s weren't.
I was enjoying getting to see the globe. You know, I fell in love with scuba diving.
Oh no.
Well,
City Girl said plans canceled. Deer versus VW, and the Deer won. Car got totaled.
oh, that sucks.
Oh.
I crossed the deer and the deer won.
You know, but like Robyn was saying, in our town they had team nights at the clubs. You know?
No. 7 children. The oats were sown prior to meeting this woman. Prior to meeting this saint of a woman, this angel. Because she has the halo. I have the burnt off wings and lost my halo in the fires of hell somewhere.
You probably made a pocket knife out of it.
That's exactly right. I might have sent it to you too.
That's where that sword came from.
Well, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't bring that.
There it
sword
is.
There's your halo.
There you are.
No, I must say, you brought all 7 of you kids with you down here this weekend.
And for the record, our house is only 1,400 square feet. But I will tell you, it felt like 3,500 square feet because those kids were so well behaved. Like, even to the point.
And we learned how a lobster walks.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I wish we'd bring Rafe in here.
He was so funny. He come in and he's like, "This is how a lobster is."
But you can't see it in full effect without seeing the legs.
Yeah, you gotta see the legs
His
going
little
up and
legs
down.
are moving up and down. And we're like, "Don't you mean a crab?" And he's like, "No, a lobster." We're like, "No, really, I think you mean a crab." Nope. Nope. But I'll tell you, like, you know, and we were talking about this in the car, is that, you know, when you have really good kids, what the problem of what happens is when you take them to somebody else's house, they behave like angels.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you take them home, then they're the little hellions, right?
Yep.
So then you're like so happy and proud as a parent because you're like, you did so well at this person's house, you didn't freak them out. And then you look at them and you're like, why can't you do that at home?
No, because honestly, they're afraid Daddy's volcano will erupt.
Right, but that's my point. Yeah.
I mean, they were out there helping us move the eggmobile today.
That was so awesome. We had so many hands on deck. It was like, there's like 14 of us. So we're all getting together and moving all the stuff and moved everything. I mean, it was...
Yeah, and see, for them, that was fun while we were out there. We get home and say, okay, let's go outside. And, so...
So Amy said, I don't know, let JR get comfortable enough around someone. He'll show you his true colors.
Oh, I think...
Junior is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think my
Junior.
boys have got enough of me in them, aside from maybe Nikolai. Nikolai doesn't really have the player gene, I don't think.
No.
But Donovan and definitely Rafe. Definitely Rafe. He's already got Miss Robyn all wrapped up around that finger.
Yeah.
We had so much fun at Sam's. Oh my god.
6 hours and 14 minutes.
Yeah, of
Oh,
actual
hold
driving.
on. Josh is in the house, and I want to offer a congratulations
To you, sir.
to you, sir. As our
Resident single guy.
as our long lost family member once screamed out, "Freedom!"
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
Now he gets to focus on the
His
one
kids.
thing that matters the most to that man, and that is his children.
His
And he
children.
gets to do it without any drama llama in the room. So congratulations, sir.
Freedom is overstated at times, but your kid's the reason for all of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, knowing me, more foul language used.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway.
Yeah. So, okay, well, we've been on for a little over an hour. Do you guys have any more blacksmithing questions? And while we're waiting on those questions, do not forget, if you want to learn about blacksmithing, you have 2 opportunities this year. One, Memorial Day weekend here on...
And now 97% debt free. That's
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Here on our homestead, Memorial Day weekend. And then the other time is at the Homesteaders of America conference. Josh will not only be doing demos during the conference, but the Thursday before, he is doing a hands-on
Workshop.
class.
Yeah.
Real quick, Teresa Dean. It took me and Leslie and our Passel clan kids in a 15-passenger van. It took us right at 6 hours and 14 minutes
Driving time.
driving time.
Yeah.
You know, outside of that, we added in probably close to an hour between getting confused on meeting up and following you, and apparently getting lost.
And then that nasty wreck that we
Yeah.
had.
Gosh,
yeah. The
Yeah.
wreck actually took out right
Almost
at
an hour, yeah.
Almost an
So,
Yeah. Amy asked, what are we doing on Memorial Day weekend?
Memorial Day weekend, we are hosting a 2-day class here on our homestead. The first part of the day, on Saturday, you will get an intro to blacksmithing class, very, very basics class. And then in the afternoon on Saturday, you will get an intro to predator control class, very, very basics. Then Sunday morning, it is a,
okay.
you'll be basically doing the trapping class again. Except for you're starting with me in the morning, because we will go out and set a trap line on our homestead. And then you will finish the day with Josh, and you guys will be making a squirrel sticker.
Close enough.
Whatever it is.
What's the worst blacksmithing injury that you've had?
Aside from the ever insistent burns, you know, I've got so many calluses on my hands, I can pull stuff out of the oven now without callus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How many hours labor in her grill set?
In her grill set, I'm thinking I've got right at 4 hours between forming and buffing and polishing and all that and paint. Yeah, right at 4 hours.
One arm's bigger
Now
than the other.
I want to come back to the class situation. Now, Memorial Day weekend. Look, Amy's fixing to put out a huge list of what classes that's going to be at the HOA.
There's quite a few.
And there's a tremendous amount of them.
And they're awesome.
And they're all great. Now, here is a wonderful opportunity for everybody. Let's say you're torn between, you don't know if you want to take Josh's blacksmithing class, my predator control class, or the rabbit butchering. I'm just using the classes from last year. I don't know what's on the list this year.
The canning
class, or you want to take one of the other classes that's going to be at the HOA. You can still knock out all of those 3 of those classes because you can come to ours in May.
Right. And
get our class, get both of those on that weekend, and then sign up for the HOA class of the choice that you want. Because all those classes are going to be all offered on the same day.
And from what I understand, Amy's getting ready to release that here coming up this week.
Yes. And so, perfect opportunity to be able to get a bunch of classes under your belt, because if you're just thinking about wanting to kind of get into blacksmithing a little bit, but you need a canning class. Well, here's your opportunity.
Yeah.
Because not only with the blacksmithing class, you can also get some predator control information, which is a must-have information for all homesteaders.
Suburban. Jason, are you doing wood or metal raised beds? Wood right now.
Wood right now, but I want to get into some metal raised beds.
Let's see. Homestead in the Highlands. If you guys can get my ticket, I will do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's just rough being able to.
What did she ask?
Yeah,
about going on a
can
work
he come
holiday
over for a working holiday and spend a few days with hubby finishing his forge and doing some work with him?
Yes, but you got to get 2 tickets. You got to get my ticket because
I love this woman, but somebody has to be alive to take care of the kids if the plane goes down.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to come over and make sure that he is safe his entire time over there. I'll have to be his safety officer.
She asks.
Yeah.
I need suspenders to keep my pants up. Belt won't work. Be prepared. That's just only 2.5 months away.
Yep.
Yep. What?
Did you cut his wheels turning?
What? About
That's
what?
enough time.
What? What are you talking about?
It might really be worth coming, guys. That's all I'm saying.
We need quality control, though.
Right.
Making that Mountain Dew.
Something like.
Jason thought military could hitch a ride. Just sneak Josh in.
I can actually fold up and fit in a good sized piece of luggage.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you in a golf bag.
Well, maybe not that, but.
Anyway, so that's gonna be fun. So that's gonna be Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. We're really looking forward to that.
We are not 100% certain on the price just yet because we are trying to figure out, because we want to be able to provide food. And so that's what we're trying to figure out right now. We're going to have that figured out this weekend. And then we're going to have a video coming out about it because we're going to film that video this weekend too. And
we'll have to get on that tomorrow.
Having a video come out, and it's going to have the prices and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to that.
Yep. So, and we're probably going to limit the class size to only about 10 folks, 10 to 15 people. So that way everybody can have relatively the same experience. And it also helps to have a smaller class. That way, everybody, again, gets the same experience, but also with the trap line, we are all not stinking it up too much.
Yeah.
So.
Well, more Obviously, the smaller the class size, the more one-on-one opportunities you'll have. So
Right.
So you don't want a huge class because you want to be able to spend time with each person.
Because you're limiting your HOA class to what, 10? 5?
Wow. It was a lot. Because I wasn't in the class. I was kind of chasing my tail that day. I don't even want to remember all that, but...
Oh, when you locked the keys in the car?
I didn't lock them. That was LaDessa. In a rental, by the way.
Don't blame that sweet baby.
So, no, I blame the Prius. It was the Prius because she was used to the Prius. It wouldn't lock if the key fob was inside the car.
Right.
Sweet.
And so, yeah. But anyway, so the thing is I remember I went up there and was trying to get away from Jason's class so I didn't distract him. So I was sitting up in that little pavilion area, minding my own business, crocheting, and it was raining cats and dogs, which that was crazy all in itself. But how many did you have that day?
I had 8.
Yeah, and it was rough because you had to alternate between people, and you had to bounce back and forth, and so that was kind of, I think 5's a good...
I may limit mine to 5 because I had 3 in my class last year. And it was good to have just those 3.
So.
Well, pick up the Chinese food and bring it this way.
Right.
Just saying.
So on a regular, I have apprentices at historic Smithfield Plantation, and my max number is 5. Now that can be 10, and half day it's 5, but. That's why I came to that number, is because 5 is about as many as I can handle and give individual attention when they start doing the hands-on stuff.
I'll be there in 4 hours. We'll probably be up, just saying.
Keep the light on. We were last night, that's for sure.
Yes.
So that's the thing. When homesteaders get together, and I equivocate this modern homesteading to
it's
back
9 o'clock.
I am gonna thump you. back with the 1800s on how it took, granted it took you 6.5 hours to get here, but if we was back horse and buggy
it would
day,
have been 6 weeks.
it would have taken you weeks to get here.
Oh yeah.
So you enjoy and you look forward to the time that you're spending together, so you guys end up staying up late. It's like HOA last year. We had Breakaway with us, and then we had a big dinner with the Aldermans and Breakaway.
7 children pulling the car.
And
I'm just saying, hand carts were a thing.
You think we hung out with you guys the first night
Yeah.
there, and we had that big dinner.
Well, and that was rough because the night before we got in super late because the drive up was nothing but rain the whole time.
Somebody drives like a grandma.
It wasn't me. So Amy said she's going to bed. Y'all, she said, I'm old and I can't stay up anymore.
Love you, Amy.
Bye, Amy.
Take care of that bun.
The 24th's better than your due date, though. Just saying.
So, look, Breakaway said what? So the ride up was rough. Our day started crazy late. We got up there, it was super late. So we go to bed, have to wake up at the butt crack o' dawn to get up there, get everything situated, get up there. We go all day. And then we went and bought dinner, cooked dinner, sat down, relaxed. Kids had a blast.
The kids were awesome.
They
Come sliding down that pedestal.
We're all sitting in there in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I just see this leg going down the side of the banister, and I'm like, do I say anything, or do I just wait till he gets safely to the bottom?
Which just set off the ever-living Nazi in me.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Boy!
Aw.
What?
He said he sold the Dodge. The Pepe is gone.
Aw.
But anyway, yeah. So doesn't matter where you drive up here, it takes forever to get there. But yeah, so that was the thing, is like, we walked, we got up there, and, it was, God, it must have been, what was it, midnight?
Hey,
it was
Windswept, 2 of her daughters
are expecting this year. That's awesome.
That means Mr. Windswept is going to be a granddad.
Awesome. Congrats, Karen.
Maybe, because they're going to come in May. Mm-hmm. So I think we might need to get him a walker. We might need to make him a walker.
I mean, you might have to level some of those paths out there, brother.
Yeah. He may not make it.
So that was, So it was fun. But then
weasel.
What was even worse about that is that we went to bed super late.
Yeah.
And then we had to be up there super early again.
Oh, they're already grandparents.
Oh.
I was thinking that.
I wasn't 100% sure, and I don't ever remember Mr. Windswept ever saying anything about it. And he talks to me about just about everything.
So Teresa,
except for he doesn't call me every day now because he got in trouble.
Yeah.
And it really kind of hurt my feelings that he's not allowed to call me every day.
Oh. Teresa Dean, yeah, it did take only about a half tank to get down here.
Yeah,
I was impressed because we had our...
That big thing probably got a 900-gallon tank.
It's a
35.
35?
Yeah, 35.
My big Ford
I
didn't have that big of a tank.
Right, man.
I about cry every time I fill it up.
Yep.
Yes.
I bet.
But she's definitely getting better gas mileage.
Yeah, we had her in the shop for a computer replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the fuel sending unit got replaced along with the computer.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, it went from like 13 miles to the gallon to 20.
Yeah,
and you got such a manly horn on that thing, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, man, this is obviously my wife's vehicle.
No, I hate that horn.
It reminds me of my dad had a Dodge when the new body style came out for the Dodge truck. And it was always hilarious to me because when you hit the Dodge horn, this big, massive truck. And it's like, excuse me.
Exactly.
Excuse me, will you please get out of the way?
So,
I really need to get past you right now.
So, to me, I posted a meme the other day where it was...
A what?
A what?
Sorry.
What is it?
A meme.
What did you call it? A meme?
A meme. Or a meme.
A meme.
Sorry.
A meme is
Okay,
all I'm saying is I polished that stinking tankard off, okay?
A meme.
And I'm tired. Dadgummit, leave me be.
You can't bust my chops about calling it a meme anymore.
I didn't to begin with. I didn't to begin with. Anyways, what the heck was I saying?
You saw a meme.
Oh, right.
It's raining memes. Hallelujah.
How heavy is that?
Pretty heavy.
I think it might knock him
That's
out,
like
don't you?
Stitch. That's Stitch-worthy material right there.
Anyways.
Night, Windswept. We love you too.
So...
She's close to retiring.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to be a party.
That is. We're going to go with sirens and sledgehammers and pickaxes and go break her out of jail. No doubt about it.
So your meme.
My meme, or meme.
Or mem.
Or mem.
It's raining memes. Hallelujah.
Leave it to you to sing that song.
He's securing his manhood.
I mean, pink underwear away.
But I did couples yoga.
So did they.
Yeah, but I did it in them pajama pants.
I did it in jeans. Tight jeans.
Oh, we
At
all
that.
know.
Oh, I was going to say, I think everybody knew that.
I about died, too. See, that's the problem when you have one pair. Because you live in a tiny house. 960 square feet with 9 people in it is the technical definition, guys. Come on. But, anyways, the meme is that they've replaced the horn with gunshot fires.
Oh my
right? Well, my dream was always to hook up a laser that would cook and reduce to ash the cars in front of me.
See, no, I pray a lot, and I know God will never grant me this. But I pray a lot that
Have you seen the video collab everybody's doing about, like, if you could snap your fingers, what's one thing that you would want done on your homestead? Of course, Jason saw it. The first thing he said was, if I could snap my fingers, he didn't even see the part about your homestead. If I could snap my fingers, the one power I would like to have
is I wanna be.
Hey, Freedom Homestead, what's up?
With if the Lord would grant me superpowers, and I know He won't, because this would be
would
be my superpowers that I would request. I would want to be able to point at somebody with my left hand, instant diarrhea, and with my right hand be able to point an uncontrollable sneezing attack.
At the same time.
Boom! I got you, baby!
Cut me off now! Wham, wham!
Leave it to my husband. Like, I'm just saying.
You want to say ugly things about my wife? Wow!
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Like, y'all think I'm like slipping, like I'm lazy or something, but for real, look at the chair, y'all.
Who's the fat guy now? Woo!
Look.
So I always wanted to do this with a car, right?
Forget the shorts. Speaking of the pigs multiplying, we have sows that are going to drop any day now.
I think they're a little bit off, but...
She's made herself a nest. Yep. She is going to drop any day now.
But the reason why we got on the subject of the horn is because we went to the...
Yes, more pigs, y'all.
We went to Greenville on Friday to the Lawn and Garden Show. Well, we knew they were coming, and we said, look, you got to go through Greenville anyway. Let's just meet up. You can follow us straight here to the house, so you won't get lost.
It's not that. The chair, for real, y'all.
Okay.
I'm showing you. Look,
Okay.
watch. See?
I think
Look, it
I
keeps
think that
going.
might have been done on purpose.
No.
That chair.
No, this chair, we've had this chair for like 7 years.
Because, I mean, if you rolled over it, it'd work as a massage chair.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, okay, real quick. Do you know how many pigs we have now? We
No.
lost count, y'all. We don't know.
I think you need to sue for
right. Well, they were asking if we know who the father is. So the father on this one, these are actually the bacon pigs.
Your Honor, this Mr. Spider Pig comes swinging in the middle of the night and got my sows pregnant and then just swung out, and we don't see them but every 28 days.
It's so bad. I'm telling y'all. We have so many piglets, and the bad thing is that we've had so much rain that there's mud everywhere. It is.
Look, our piglets have adopted the saying, "We babies kids, we don't die, we multiply."
Spider pig.
Maury Porky Povich. Oh my god. Robyn, Doc said, do you need a new chair or another drink? Both!
Seeds, I am your father.
Said no one. Yeah, so we have... Okay, so this is the thing. Maybe by March, we might have something to put on a spit.
That's right.
I mean...
You mean by May?
What's in your... Oh, yeah, May. What did I say, March? I'm sorry, May. What's in your drinking cups? Almost nothing.
You can see nothing in that one.
Just some cherry... Just some cherry Coke.
Yep. It's sleep deprivation, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, actually.
I mean, because my routine, regardless of what time I go to bed, I'm going to wake up at 6. Like, my brain is like crazy. And so, like, this morning I woke up and at 6 o'clock, I was like, wide awake.
Why can I see in my mind's eye a Maury show about these piglets?
That's the YouTube spoof,
And
man.
the blood
I'm
tests say...
The internet gold. Porky Pig, you are not the
father.
father.
So now you can classify being a pig farmer. What is the active ingredient in your cherry coke?
So, but anyway, back to my story. We went to the Greenville
Home and Garden
show. And
we had a really good time. We had I made a lot of business contacts with my business, and Jason made a lot of contacts for the farm.
And so we said to Josh, look, just come into Greenville. We will meet you somewhere, and basically that way you don't get lost coming to the house. Because once you get off at 85, once you get off...
April, I think it was yeast.
I guarantee it's not FDA approved.
And so we met them in the Buy Low parking lot, but they came in on this end of the parking lot. We came in from the upper end.
And they were waiting on us.
They were waiting on us. And I said, Josh, start honking your horn so we can find you. This parking lot is full.
This is a big parking lot.
Right. And I rolled down the window of the Prius, and about that time I heard, beep, beep. I heard, he.
No, first I sent you a text back going,
Really?
It's a 15-passenger, all blacked out van.
I was like, yeah, there's one right here. It's not you. And then I hear,
excuse me, over here.
Like, literally, I'm really thinking about doing the robot's booty for that van, especially because our children have named that van Black Beauty, okay? However, none of them can say it right.
No. We were walking back from Walmart, and they're like, hey, look, it's Big Booty. Big Black Booty.
It's Black Booty.
I still, if my neighbor is home tomorrow, I still want you to just drive down my driveway. I'll give you the cameras and just act like you're taking pictures.
I'm telling you,
there will be boxes come flying out of that house.
Is someone pumping laughing gas into your house? No, this is the thing, y'all. And anybody who we've visited with can attest to this.
And Tommy's one of them.
When we get to visiting with people, most of the time you guys don't get to see this because we're not the type to hold a camera out and be like, film.
Right,
it's just not us. So the only reason that y'all are catching this is because we're live. Because we've been giggling and laughing and talking all day and all night last night.
Yeah.
Right. So, see, and City
even
Girl
more
could say,
so.
this is how we are in person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just us. It's
and
just who we
even
are.
more so with us because she doesn't get on camera.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
She doesn't do it.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
you may have seen her in the yoga video, but that's about it.
I mean,
so.
we were up late when we went down to Alderman Farms. We were up late just talking with Miss Patty and Tommy.
Yeah.
And we were laughing, having a good time with them. And then when Roots and Refuge came here,
Hey,
we
Mama?
were up till
3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
Yeah, way past my bedtime that night.
And when we've gone to Mama Donna's place,
Yeah.
I don't even know what time I think the sun is coming up sometimes when we go to bed there.
Sure.
And my face is hurting from laughing so hard. And that's why I equivocate this type of the homesteading community on YouTube to no different than the homesteading community back in the 1800s day because they've had to drive the herd or whatever so long in their covered wagons that
maybe.
Sorry.
You know,
especially if we get our kilts, they got to be matching, man.
Oh my god, how funny would that be? That's why I love you guys. Yeah.
You know, and they took that time to heart. They made it as meaningful
Made it count, right?
as possible. Yeah. And that's why anytime that we meet up with somebody, we
also back in the 1700s, YouTubes didn't have so many restrictions.
yeah.
I saw that nod, Jason.
Oh yeah. Josh doesn't drink to get drunk. That's not a good thing. So
No, and that's that's the thing with us. All this visiting and laughing and having a good time is just, that's what we are. I mean, when we're blessed to be able to go visit people and go see people, the last thing we're thinking about is filming.
Right.
I mean, and our channel probably suffers because of that a little bit, because a lot of people like to see, that like this, they like to see that.
Yeah.
But we're not visiting people to catch it on camera. We're visiting people because we wanted to go visit them.
Like at Tommy Alderman. Tommy Alderman is like the uncle I never had. Mm-hmm. And I seek out Tommy's counsel. I respect Tommy tremendously. Mm-hmm. And same way, with Miss Patty, I seek their counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I told him one time, I said, "Look, you're like the uncle I don't have. I've got one uncle."
Shucks.
And
he's trying to put sub. Shucks, and it said sub. That was funny.
Yikes!
And there's other people that you develop a relationship with people.
I'm trying to remove it. It's okay.
And it's it's like with Kitty Homestead. She's been with us since
forever,
before our very first live stream.
She started watching us not too long after we started on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And there's a lot that are like that.
And there are certain people that I'm able to go through, whether it's through Skype or text messages or Marco
Teresa.
Polo, and it becomes more than a community. That's what I'm trying to say. It becomes family. And that's something that
One of my chopped liver. I didn't know how long, Amanda, I didn't know how long you'd been on. Here's the problem. Early on, Jason talked more to everybody than I did with insomnia, because I missed a lot, because come 9 or 10 o'clock, I would go to sleep. And so there was a lot of things that got, shared that I missed. And so Amanda, I'm sorry if I missed that, but there were several people.
Refresh, Amanda, please.
There were several people that we weren't aware of that had been watching us for years,
No, Amanda was one that was with us, I think, her and Kitty both were with us before we done our very first live stream.
Yeah.
And and that's one of the cool, and you see it at things like at the HOA. The HOA is a huge one that you see it at.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like this year, the kids.
Especially if we get to be next to each other again, you're going to definitely see that interaction quite a bit.
What I was thinking about that was interesting, we have had people, because we've been 2 years with the HOA, and we'll have random people walk up and be like, you know, we've been watching you for years. And I'm like, what's your screen name? And they'll tell me, and I'm like, I don't ever remember seeing that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we just sit in the background. And I'm like, well, I mean.
We're lurkers.
Yeah.
Like, well, don't just bloody lurk. You know, get out there and say something.
And that's the thing is, we pride ourselves on being able to interact with our people. Like, I mean, we like. If we could have 100 people in here, we would be interacting with all 100. I mean, that's just the people that we are. And, you know, and so that's the thing is that...
It's
the
a
mouse
family.
hunt. Oh, my gosh.
You know, my favorite thing happened at the HOA was somebody snuck in while I was talking, and I think it was while you were taking the kid to the ER. And... I know they said something. It registers in the back of my mind, but they put a thing of cream and honey on my vice stand at the back of the tent that I had.
Of creamed honey?
Yes.
Yeah, creamed honey.
That's windswept.
Windswept?
That was windswept. Because I got some too.
Me, I was like, man, I feel horrible because I know
Yeah, you're a bad person.
I am. I'm horrible.
What's up, Jay? I was a lurker. Yeah, Mama T was one of the ones that came up to us the first year. She came up, she's like, oh, we, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know
Mama
you,
T
but
is awesome. And
their whole family is amazing. And their little dog, oh, I am like, just like how I am with your son.
Yeah.
Their daughter, the young one with the ringlet curly hair.
I feel bad for Blaze's kids. That's all I'm saying. Because by the time
He's not having any, is what he says.
Yeah, whatever.
I wasn't either.
Yeah.
But
7 later. But yeah, so that's the thing is like, yeah, he always says that. He's like, I am in so much trouble if I ever have kids because I'm never going to see them. They're going to be all over you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm pretty sure there will be massive amounts of tears Monday morning when we leave.
Oh, yes. Yes, my children will be.
Well, I'm leaving at like 8, so y'all were leaving before that, right? Okay.
April said she was a lurker till the
Till the bats.
Till the bats. Yeah.
So, I love Amanda's thing. I found y'all through another channel that shall remain nameless. Old Way said, same here, Amanda. I want to come to HOA, not tell anyone, then go around lurking and stalking you guys. But see, you've already ruined it because you do videos, so we know what you look like. See, and that's what happened. We did have a couple of people that walked up.
Because I have Swiss cheese for a memory. I won't remember what.
Oh, you'll remember her.
I will her because
of that video we watched today.
Yes, I will.
Look, Homestead in the Highlands, let me just tell you, I have a really bad habit of yelling at the TV. Because I used to do it with, what is her name? Tara. Over at Living on a Dime. She would do her live streams and she'd be doing something. I'm like, no, don't do that. You know, or whatever. Well, we were watching her video today and what was I doing? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. Don't do that.
Well,
more.
I was totally cracking up because word for word what you said when he and I watched it while y'all were gone was exactly and at exactly the same times. I was like, no, don't do that, no. And then, sure enough, I was watching you more than I was the video.
All I'm saying is I am so happy she doesn't have gas. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all need to watch the video. And Dee said, I moved from lurker to Buttinsky. What did? Let's just say the grease. I'm just gonna say the grease, like the grease.
I love it when you watch Living on a Dime. I love it when you watch Tara because there'll be times Robyn's trying to take notes and she'll be like, "Stop talking so fast!" And I'm like, "She can't hear you." We got a rewind button.
Well, and you know, we all do it. We'll all do videos where we've not done something before. So we're taking you along with us the first time we're doing it. And so when I was watching her, the little bit of time I had, when I would watch her, because the thing is that she would do hers right about the time I was coming home from work. So when I would get home, it would be on the screen. Jason would be watching it, or we would, turn it on to watch. And the one that cracked me up was she was talking about all these uses for zucchini. Because zucchini grows like crazy, and then you end up with so much you don't know what to do with it. And she started talking about doing something, and zucchini boats came up, and she was saying to do it one way, and I'm like, no, don't do it that way. And I'm like trying to talk through the TV like she's gonna understand everything I'm saying.
Right.
And Jason's like, there's a chat box for that. I can't type that fast.
Well, and if you're doing it on your phone now, there's this magic mic button.
Magic mic. Let's go.
Let's get more. I think
forward.
that button gets more people in trouble because it does.
Well, it doesn't recognize my accent.
No.
Nobody recognizes my accent. Let's face it.
The funniest video I've seen on YouTube so far to date was the voice recognition of two Scots in an elevator.
Yes. Yes.
Crying. I was laughing so hard.
They now...
11.
Right.
It doesn't speak Southern at all.
No, and they actually have a program now that has been modified for Scottish brogues.
Oh, that's funny.
Because of that.
They need to do a Southern one.
I need to see. Homestead in the Highlands says, did you see the video the day before when I stole the tractor and set the kitchen on fire?
I told you we should.
Whoopsie!
We saw the thumbnail and we were like, no, she didn't.
Jason sent me a link to the Scott's video. I must see that.
There's one that you cannot watch around Tomas.
No.
There is language in it, but it is the guy stuck on the roof.
Oh my gosh, have you seen
I
that?
haven't seen
Oh my
that
gosh.
is hilarious.
We have to watch that.
Like whenever Jason's not feeling all happy and fun on
They're
the
trying.
inside.
Basically, it's a young guy.
Boy, yeah.
And they're trying to tell him where to put his feet. And he got like 15 people trying to tell him where to put his feet. And he just goes off. And he's Scottish. So you only understand like
Half of it.
every other word. You know?
And there's the F-bombs in it. I mean, but he's so frustrated because he's stuck up on a roof. And he's, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to put my feet?
So
funny.
I'm positive that I have a atrocious American accent when I speak it. But the only Irish Gaelic words I remember from my grandfather
We're cussing.
were cursing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was GDSOB.
Yep.
And when I'm really, really tired or asleep, I have a penchant of yelling in my sleep, right?
There's
like
there's
sleep
an
version
old
of Tourette's.
collaboration that you guys need to go back and do. Because you two had me rolling when y'all were talking about what you do to each other is the 30 random facts
Oh gosh.
collaboration. We probably need to update ours. Yeah. Yeah, basically it's 30 random facts. You do 15 about each other.
Really? Oh, okay.
You know, like one of the things.
I mean, that might be TMI, you know.
No, it was.
He took it there.
No, I did not. You
Well,
took
then
it
he
there
would.
first. It was like random facts about Robyn was, how I always used to avoid an argument was I would throw a book on the floor. And she had to stop what she was doing, lost all train of thought, because picking up that book off of the floor took priority. So she was fussing about something. She was fussing at me about something, and I wasn't going to engage, or just didn't want it.
Toss a magazine on the floor.
Toss a magazine on the floor.
Yep.
And
For the longest time.
she would stop in her tracks.
And you got a chance to see a little bit of my crazy today. So, I mean, you can kind of understand that. You could probably see that.
You know, all I'm saying is a family full of empaths is probably not the guests you expected when you had that occur today, huh? I think you said, yeah, because they're all freaking scared and gone. You know, my kids, you said it was wise. It's not wise. It's a distinct survival.
It really was. Like, it was hilarious. So what he's referring to is Leslie and I took the twins shopping with us, and everybody else stayed at the house. When we came back, before we came back, I texted Jason and said, please make sure that the refrigerator's cleaned out so that I could put everything away when I get home. Well, I get home and there's a sink full of dishes.
Okay, hold on, time out. In my defense,
we did have a door to put up.
we did put up
I'm not
a security
complaining
door.
about you
Okay.
at all. Not at all. So basically what happened is I get home and Carol did exactly what she was told, which is just to make sure that that the refrigerator was cleaned out. That's all she did. There were dishes all piled up in the sink. There was stuff all over the countertops. Nowhere for me to work to be able to put stuff away. On top of that, she didn't consolidate anything. So I had like 3 bags of open shredded cheddar, or I had this and that. And so it was very frustrating. I go to start putting stuff away and I don't have any room because there's half bags of everything everywhere. And so I'm like, I've already missed lunch.
Yeah, you turn into the female version of the Incredible Hulk when you become hangry.
Yeah. So I start trying to put stuff away. In the meantime, I'm trying to get hot dogs going because I am hungry. But I have no room to be able to do that. Then I start pulling out dishes and there's dirty dishes. And I'm like, okay, going in the sink. Well, in the meantime, everybody's trying to come in and help me. They're like, what can I help you with? What can I help you with? So I finally get everything under control, and we're almost done with everything. And I'm moving towards where the onions and everything are, and I start to notice that whenever I move forward, all of Josh's kids take a step back. And then when I come backwards, they would move forwards again. And I was like, your children are wise.
You want to know where that comes from? A 3.5-foot arm.
Well, that's about the distance. They were just out of striking range. Not that I would ever do that, but they were definitely just far enough from the arms. Like,
Well, when you have preteen kids, there are times that you have to
Reach out
and grab a hold of
adjust
them
their attitude.
and pull them into and get to make eye contact
Yes. Yep.
because they're 800 million miles away.
uh-huh.
Our 14-year-old is probably 1,400 miles away right now in the realm and world of crochet.
I wonder if she would get upset if I walked into her and I said, yarn is yarn.
She does. I promise you she does. I promise she does. She would go,
we go
blasphemer.
into any of the crafting stores that have yarn, and it's like, okay, we'll see you in 30 minutes. Because she just goes straight to the yarn, and it's like...
But is that a blanket or a rug?
That's a blanket. A baby blanket for our almost
it is
born
beautiful.
baby niece. So, yeah.
Yeah, so while we're down here, we're probably missing a birth
No, she's not
on
quite...
the way home, maybe. Because she's due in like a week or 2.
Yeah. So.
Everybody's like, Robyn, are you going to allow him to blaspheme like that?
I'm telling you, man. Shirt.
Nobody bought it.
Really?
Nobody wanted it.
That's okay.
I know.
I know if you say do one that says ... because he's a blacksmith. They'll get it though.
Everybody's like, what shirt? I had a shirt that was on, what was that? Not Teespring.
No.
I don't remember. Anyway.
I'm gonna have to step
Why am I?
out very shortly.
2 hours.
Yeah, we've been on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, you keep saying that, Jason, and I'll ship your acrylic yarn back and you need your wool spun.
I'm just saying,
Gotcha.
I had all of this
Okay, you got to pee.
Half of that.
and about this.
Bonfire.
Bonfire, that's it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
I I love y'all. This has been a blast. Thank you.
And I'm burning up. The
Yeah,
heater's
I
not
had
even
to take the
off.
sweatshirt
Yeah.
off.
Well, I didn't want to accidentally give somebody a show by trying to take mine
can't.
off.
I can't take much more off. You know,
Well,
I'm in
I
the-
mean, my problem is like if I start to lift mine up, my other shirt's gonna go with it.
Yeah, we don't know.
standing in Walmart the other day.
I thought we were saying bye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll finish the story later.
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger. You just have to wait.
Yeah, look, stand up, Josh, out the door behind the building. All right. All right, everybody.
All right, guys, we may jump on live again tomorrow, and
Josh, I am mad. The world is.
I mean,
we got to go now before this gets out of control and my channel gets frozen again.
Okay.
All right, guys, remember to be kind to one another. You never know what that person is going through, and you never know what simple laughter, how much it can change somebody's life. Now, yes, tomorrow is my birthday, so we may or may not jump on for my birthday. Thank you to everyone who has wished me a happy birthday. And remember to recycle, reuse, and repurpose. Keep stuff out of the landfill so that way our wildlife has a place to live.
Yep.
Thank you, guys, and we will see you guys next time.
You're never completely dressed until you put on your smile.